Hello, welcome back to replaying the story of Final Fantasy XIV, Post-Stormblood, Part 2. Last time... What did we do last time? Well, now after the liberation of both Doma and Alamigo, we helped to start up at least on Alamigo, what kind of government they should be doing. And now back on Doma, we're now managed to find Gosetsu alive and Yotsuyu alive, except that she lost her memories. And now she's like a basically like a child in an adult's body. And on the way, we managed to also meet Asahi, the half-brother of Yotsuyu. And now he's inside there, talking with Hien. And we're here, outside here with Alice. Let's continue. Alright. For want of a better suggestion, let's take you to a brief tour of the newly liberated Doma. I'd be interested to hear how the people are faring in their own words. And it's not as if we'll be missing here. Or will we? Leo, a moment if you would. Ah, Yogiri and Asahi, was it? You have some business with Leo? Business? No, pleasure, my lady. I merely wish to exchange a few words with the famed slayer of gods and champion of Eorzea. It is truly an honor. Such heartfelt admiration. One could almost forget that you are an envoy of the Empire. Oh, is that so strange? We may have stood on opposite sides in the past, but I see no contradiction in lauding the man who would do battle with our common enemy. And lest you forget, this is my homeland. I would be remiss of me not to do at least thank him of containing the threat posed by Kojin's vile icon. Now if I may continue, as we speak, Lord Hien deliberates over my proposal, and I would take this time to see the land I once called home. Though Lady Yugiri is certain to be the jovial escort, the excursion will be all the more enjoyable for your company, and safer besides. The ambassador has the right of it. He is not like to come to harm with you and at his side. Will you join us? It will be my pleasure. In that case, I will join you as well. There is naught else to do until Lord Hien has reached his decision, and I can think of no final way to learn more about the current state of Doma. It is settled then. The four of us shall make a brief excursion through Yangsha. Might we start at the town of Monzen? I would see what has become of Doma Castle. Very well, if you'll follow me. Okay then. Let's go and see what does Asahi think when he sees the ruins of Doma Castle. Because if you guys remember, we kind of flushed it. through here, yeah. Oh? Can't? Alright, there's another gate here. Through here. Guys are. I'll admit, I was hoping for a more leisure trip around Yangsha, but it's a choice between this or listening to my brother rambling on. Well, here I am. Would that something could be done about these mechanical soldiers? May, can this truly be Monsen? Home to the cream of Doma's samurai? I've heard that Yotsuyu intended to send some few of our automata here, but only by way of warning. It shouldn't have not have come to this. Indeed, her savagery served only to incense the people and spur them to rise up in protest. It was folly to think such methods of governance could ever prove effective. The sooner we can begin to make amends of this senseless destruction for the better. Securing supplies in support of the reconstruction effort should not prove difficult, once our nations are formally at peace, of course. Yes, of course. If you will have a better view of what remains of the castle, we must proceed through the ruins. Well, at least a nice evening stroll. I don't believe for a moment that he came to see the sights of Yangsha. The question, what did he come for? Lord Hien will often come here to gaze at the castle. He was but one of many to take inspiration from His Majesty. This is a travesty! A travesty! I remember the keep being so beautiful. In the light of seeing sun, one could swear it was aflame. It is indeed a doleful spectacle. Maybe we will rebuild it one day, when we have finished helping our people to rebuild their lives. Spoken like a true popularis. The needs of the people must of course come first. Speaking of whom, would you be opposed to seeing how they live firsthand? The village of Namai is but a short journey from here, if I'm not mistaken. By river, yes. If you will follow me, I will ready your boat. Our boat. What was that? One sec, guys. are you? Tamano Gosen. Okay, never mind. This excursion has proven to be more relaxing than I expected. It has been some time since I last visited Namai, yet Issei often visits the enclave with Yanasami, so I do not want for news from the village. Ready to cast off? Yes.
Get back! I'm warning you! Someone's in trouble.
Na 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 na.
Are you all right? Hi.
What do they want with you?
Yuki, and you lot too. I don't know. We were returning from the Enclave when they came at us.
It seems they won't go quietly.
And neither will we. Away with you!
It is nothing.
Seems the Poidals are running for trouble.
Leave this to me.
No quarter!
An opening.
I have you!
The art of my forebears.
them away from the child. Nicely done.
That seems to be the last of them. You have nothing to fear, child. You are safe now.
Thank you, sir.
You saved us again. Thank you. If you're ever passing by our village, look us up. You'll always be welcome.
Thank goodness we arrived when we did.
Indeed. But what could have prompted the Red Kojin to stray so far from the Ruby Sea?
Good question.
I presume these are the sellswords hired by Yotsuyu. If so, the answer is simple. Desperation. Bereft of imperial employment, they seek other means to line their coin purses. Another sad legacy of the Empire's mismanagement.
The Empire to which you have sworn allegiance.
Must you always be so pointed? If we are to bring about lasting change, we must look beyond narrow allegiances. You have every right to doubt me, but in time, I hope you will come to see that we share a common goal. You and yours have fought fiercely to change the Empire from without, but if we are to end the cycle of conflict, the Empire must change from within. Am I wrong?
Not about that. True reform can only come from within.
I knew you would understand. You have witnessed such change firsthand, after all, during your time in Ishgard.
So you're aware of that? The Red Kojin's presence here does not bode well. We must inform Lord Hien. Dear me, I hope to convey my views of our nation's shared hopes under more peaceable circumstances. Yet this regrettable little interlude did afford me a chance to see the famed hero of Eorzea in action. And few Imperial soldiers can say that. At least few who live to tell the tale. Quite the swordsman, isn't he? I wonder, did the Empire train him to kill before or after appointing him ambassador? Don't know. Well, after that little ordeal, I believe it may be time for us to return to the Enclave. Return, my lord? But what of Namai? You seem so eager to observe the villagers going about their daily lives. To be frank, I still am, but I rather doubt the good people of Namai would take kindly to the sight of a man in the Imperial uniform, with blood still dripping from his blade. Even your company, my presence will only prove a distraction. Fret now, however. Thanks to the three of you, I have seen a great deal more than I otherwise would. And with any luck, Lord Hien will have finished considering my proposal by the time we return. This Asahi shows promise, but, as always, incredibly sus, as the young kids would say. Yes, take me to Enclave, please. Over there. Run for it. Did you see the sincerity in his eyes when he spoke with Azami? I feel strange saying this, but what if he truly has come to sue for peace? I trust you will inform Lord Hien of our encounter with the Red Koji. If we are to deter them from encroaching on Yangsha, our response must be swift and decisive. I understand you serve as the ambassador's escort. My thanks. You're welcome. Thank you again for agreeing to join me. If not for your aid, the Koji may have overwhelmed us. Pray go ahead. Lord Hien is expecting you. I will remain without and keep watch over our guest. Well, we had best not keep him waiting. Let's go see our boy Hien. Judging by the sparkle in Alphino's eyes, the discussion was riveting. Oh, how sorry I am to have missed it.
Master Alphino has shared us with his knowledge of icons and reminded us the threat they pose in so doing. It is strangely comforting to know the Empire shares our concern.
Feel refreshed, I trust. We have considered the ramifications of this proposal from every angle, and I believe Lord Hien has reached a decision. Nice. Well, Hien, what say you? Welcome back, my friend. Yukiri tell me that you accompanied her and Asahi on a tour of Yangsha. I hoped you might take opportunity to recover from your excursions at Sakazuki. But I gather your time was well spent. Until the ambassador affords Yukiri a chance to make a full report, however, I must rely on you to supply the details. So please, tell us how it all unfolded. The Red Kojin? Here? Have there been any other such incidents since their liberation? Only one that I'm aware of. If they're planning on some new venture here in Yangsha, we will need to increase patrols. In any event, are indebted to you and for fighting them off. But tell me, and don't be modest, was Asahi truly the first to leap to the youngster's aid? He was. I was quick to doubt him when we first met, but his desire to save them seemed quite genuine. It's possible he truly believes what he's saying. In time I've known you, you have always been an excellent judge of character. What do you make of the ambassador? Well, he did do this, but I still don't think he can be trusted. The question of what is true intention yet maybe remains. Regardless of his aim, I am resigned to playing his game, for now at least. Well, for swearing summoning should be simple enough, considering you never dabbled in it in the first place. Which just leaves the somewhat thornier question of how to police the Red Kojin. It was with that very question in mind that I sought Alphinaud's counsel. Thanks to his knowledge of the icons and the rituals used to invoke them, I believe we have identified a workable solution. As you will recall, Susanoo was summoned forth using the power of relics, locked away in the Kojin's treasure vault on the Isle of Zeki. Though said relics remain there to this day, it is all but certain that the act of summoning exhausted their stores of ether, making subsequent summonings impossible. Assuming that is the case, preventing the Primal's return rests on denying the Red Kojin the means to amass new stores of ether, either via the acquisitions of crystals or the relics they are wont to collect. For this I plan to enlist the aid of our friends, the Blue Kojin. Since Doma's liberation, you have forged bonds with the Bunchin and his people, and with their support I am quite confident we can keep the Red from obtaining what they require to call upon the Susanoo. And what of the prisoners? They will be exchanged as agreed, and I will give full credit to Asahi for the success of the transaction. If there is aught we can do to help the Popularis garden favor, I mean to see it done. But first, I have some unfinished business to attend to. Would you all come with me? Yes, of course, but what manner of business? A past mistake which I would see put right. One which was weighted heavy on my mind. Interesting.
I had her brought here in secret while the three of you kept our guest company. The world has not been kind to you, it is true. But that does not excuse your sins. You should be at the bottom of the river. Yet here you are. The living, breathing proof of my failure. A failure for which I would now make amends.
No, Yen.
What did I do? I don't remember. Was it really so terrible? Tell me, please. What did I do?
You speak of sins, my lord. But at whose feet do those sins lie? With the soldiers who committed the crimes, or those who commanded them to do so? With both, I would say. For all have a conscience, and all must choose. But with no memory of who she is, or what she has done, what sin remains to be cleansed?
You ask that I show mercy.
I ask why the heavens saw fit to deny me my rest. Why Yotsuyu was spared not only death, but the bitter memories of her life.
You truly think it the will of the Kami? If so, her life is not mine to take. It is yours to safeguard. Come the hour of the exchange, if her memories have not returned, she may remain here in Doma to live out her days as Tsuyu. But if they do, the Guardians shall have their viceroy. Though the people will protest, they will come to accept my decision when they have been reunited with their loved ones.
Thank you, my lord.
Now then, I believe we have kept our guest waiting long enough. Did Gosetsu not seem strange to you? His sympathy for Yotsuyu apart, I mean.
Well,
I know his powers of endurance only too well, but after all he has suffered, even he should not be on his feet. He puts on a brave face for our sakes, but it would not surprise me if he lacked the strength to raise his blade. Though I suppose if he and Yotsuyu are to enjoy a life of peace and quiet, he will have little use for it. It falls to us to shape that future, one in which he need never again set foot on the battlefield.
Seems that age has finally gotten him. I had no idea Yotsuyu's return weighed so heavily on Lord Hien's mind. I couldn't say it's Yotsu. I mean, Tsuyu's predicament is the will of the Kami, but Gosetsu seems convinced. With Yotsuyu safely in Gosetsu's care, all that remains is to answer Asahi's proposal. I realize that other matters demand your attention, but I would ask that you stay a while longer to see this business through. Don't worry, this is one of those important things that I must be around.
My apologies. Our deliberations took longer than expected.
Think nothing of it. The time afforded me the opportunity to go on a rather rousing excursion through Yansha. You have reached a decision, then?
We are willing to cooperate with you in combating the Icon threat, and also in the exchange of prisoners. Assuming you accept our conditions, of course. As you know, your sister is in our care. Due to certain complications, however, we are hesitant to release her into your custody.
Complications?
She was inside Doma Castle when it collapsed. Though she survived, she remembers nothing of her past life, not even her name. To clarify, she is in our care not as a prisoner, but as a vulnerable citizen of Doma.
Are you saying you refuse to release her?
Not at all. If her memory returns before the appointed hour.
And if not, what exactly? You will accommodate her here in Doma?
Well, I sincerely doubt she will be of any great strategic value to the Empire. She spends her days daydreaming of Dango.
Dango? How dreadful. Very well. In light of our recent misstep in Sakazuki, it seems only fair that I show you the same understanding you have shown us. Though I do have one small request. Regardless of Yotsuyu's value to the Empire, she is yet my sister. Before I leave, might you permit me to speak with her in private?
Of course. Perhaps you could even bring her a plate of dango. She would be most pleased. Yugiri will see you to her chambers.
Forgive, my lord, but as you're not being gone over long, perhaps I should...
Calm yourself, Kosetsu. I understand your concern, but we have to wait. He deserves that much. I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting. Thank you for your understanding. Long did I dream of this reunion, but never did I imagine it would be so joyless. A part of me hoped your stories of her condition were just that, but alas, it is as you say.
Tsuyu, do you remember anything of this man? Anything at all?
No. I am a stranger to her. That much was clear to me from a single look. I leave her in your care. As you wish. Now, if you'll excuse me, my superiors are long overdue a report. They will be elated to hear of our agreement, of that I have no doubt. As for the exchange itself, once I have obtained the relevant permissions, I will arrange for your people to be relieved of their various duties and sent here to Yangsha. This will take time, of course. Of course. You may rest assured your soldiers will be well cared for you until you return. We will also begin taking steps on better counter the threat of the Kojin and their icon. Before you take your leave, there is one other matter. I'm informed that it was you who took the lead in rescuing 2 young Domans from a band of Kojin sellswords. I have not yet had the time to thank you properly. Please, there's no need to thank me. I only did what anyone would do under the circumstances. Fortunately, I was in good company at the time. In blight of the Red Kojins is of the Empire's making. There is not for our transgression. Those children would not have needed saving. The people of Doma have suffered enough, my lord, and I promise to do all in my power to spare them further pain, be that at the hands of Kojin or indeed the Empire. I pray the Emperor will see things as you do. There may yet be hope for us all. Until we meet again. Kosetsu, as before, I leave Yotsuyu to you.
I invite the rest of you to join me outside. Let's treat Asahi to a proper farewell.
If my dear sister's memory does not return, I pray you will take good care of her.
Lord Hienes, make a wise decision. Our superiors will be pleased.
If only our previous encounters with the Empire had been this cordial. Here's to the future, I suppose. Without the threat of Imperial attack hanging over our heads, we may devote the energies to dealing with the Red Koji, and there will be nothing left to impede Doma's restoration. I wonder if the sight of her stepbrother might bring Yotsuyu back to her senses, but may have nothing will. Nevertheless, we must continue to watch her until we can be certain of her conditions is permanent.
The ambassador's airship awaits at Castrum Fluminis. Let's be off.
Oh, cool. They fast travel us.
I wish you a safe journey.
This has been a most enjoyable visit. I look forward to our next meeting. Maxima, would you take the others and see that all is ready for our departure? I simply cannot leave without first giving thanks to the Warrior of Light for accompanying me through Yansha. Mark me, savior of the savages. There will be a reckoning.
Oh, that was a quick change of mood.
You've nowhere left to run, traitor!
Ignorant savages! Killing us will avail you naught. For every Imperial you cut down, 1,000 more will come. Abandon this foolish endeavor and surrender. You may yet serve our righteous cause.
How dare you speak of righteousness? You who forsook kith and kin to serve conquerors! Be glad I grant you this mercy. What in the... Reinforcements? No, just one! Cut him down!
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
This one is promising. Who remains to offer us resistance?
A host of rebels led by Lord Cayenne hold the enclave across the river.
Lord Cayenne?
The king of the former king of Dorma, sir. They say he is one of the greatest swordsmen alive.
Is that what they say?
Who was that?
Surely you jest. That was Xenos Galvus, legatus of the 12th, the Crown Bloody Prince. I heard he was strong, but that was frightening.
That was Lord Xenos. Everything you are, your power, even your face, it vexes me. Go on. Lash out like the beast you are at an emissary and jeopardize the newfound peace between Dorma and the Empire. My lord was destined to lead us unto a glorious new age. Your light is nothing to his radiance. I will cherish this moment, lock it away within my heart, until the day we meet again.
Well, seems he showed his true colors. To me, at least. Why the frown? Did he say something to upset you? Are you quite well? You looked as if you were about to faint in the ambassador's arms for a moment there. I'll tell you guys later. I thought perhaps now we could be at ease, but your expression suggests otherwise. What troubles you, Leo?
You look troubled, my friend. Was it something he said?
Well, I managed to peek into his memories, and he was awestruck by the
Of all the memories to witness.
Yeah.
I had my doubts about him, but I would never have guessed he was a disciple of Xenos. My lord.
Calm yourself, Yugiri. I set no store by him or his enlightened brethren. But if by treating with them there is even the faintest hope, we might secure the return of our conscripted brothers and sisters, I must play this game. After the way I risked their lives in the rebellion, I owe them that much.
My lord, you bear no blame for their fate.
If not blame, then responsibility. They were prisoners, and still I chose to fight, knowing they could be executed in retaliation. But now we have a chance to bring them home. If it means bargaining with a monster, so be it.
My lord.
Besides, I think he likes me, which is more than some can say.
That face. Oh. It makes no sense. Why would he bother keeping up the pretense for so long, only to drop it right before the very end? Perhaps he no longer thought it necessary, having secured Doma's cooperation in the prisoner exchange. If he truly is a disciple of Xenos, it is possible emotions simply got the better of him. Remaining calm around the man who slew his lord will have taken its toll. Whatever the explanation, now is not the time for hasty reprisals. We shall proceed as planned. The Red Koji must be placed under surveillance and the Guardian's prisoner made ready for the exchange. But you need not concern yourself with the details. Leave the affairs of Doma to us. When the hour of the exchange draws near, we will call for you. I should certainly hope so. Whatever the Empire's true intent, we will be only on hand on play our part, either to defend Doma, or to help usher in lasting peace. I thought we might use this time to return to Eorzea, but given the volatility of the situation, maybe it would be best if we remain in Kugane. Agreed. Between Yotsuyu's amnesia and Asahi's dubious agenda, I say we have ample reason to remain in the neighborhood. If anything should happen, anything at all, you must send word to us at once. Oh, I will. On that you have my word. Charting a path through this sea of troubles promises to be difficult enough. I am not so proud as to attempt the feat alone. To Kugane, then. Tataru and the others must know what transpired here. If what you saw of the ambassador is an indication of his true nature, this prisoner exchange may not be what it seems. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if your encounter with Red Koji was more than mere happenstance. Yeah, say with me. I guess that Asahi hired them. Soon we shall see if Asahi is true to his word. If not, I will be glad to cut out that silver tongue of his. Damn, girl. You're wild. Ethernet. The bazaar. I don't envy Lord Hien. So much rest on his decision. Since we have naught else to attend to for the moment, perhaps this would be a good opportunity to look into the present state of Garlemald. Though I should probably speak with Otaru first. Yeah, about the sword. Welcome back, Leo. We heard the good news about Kosetsu. I knew you'd find him. My, it seems you're all quite the predicament. Well, we'll shoot. Come on. Well, should we receive any urgent missives from Doma, rest assured you will be the first to know of it. Yes, of course. We're pursuing a number of ventures to replenish our coffers. But I suppose all I can wait if any urgent news should come through the office. About that, I wish to apologize, Satoru. It was reckless of me to make such a purchase without first consulting you. You may be certain, however, that I mean to reimburse the scions, even if it means drawing upon my personal funds. That's very thoughtful of you, but I'm sure it won't come to that. If Sorbonne's business proposal is as promising as it sounds, Leo should have no difficulty wiping the red from our ledger. Forgive me, Leo. Forgive me, Leo. Utsi, I have unfairly heaped my financial troubles upon you. I swear I will pay you back. Though I fear I will struggle to cobble together anything of monetary value, knowledge I can gather in abundance. To start, I plan to investigate the division forming with the Empire. Hebriel and his associates have heard something of the subject. Just a sec, guys. Need to drink something. There we go. Regardless, the more you know about the politics of Garlemald, the better our chances of predicting the Imperial's next move, which might yield you an advantage on the day of the prisoner exchange. Knowing what we do of Asahi's apparent resentment towards you, I cannot say what he hopes to gain from it. But if there is even the faintest chance of that a lasting peace would be forged between Doma and the Empire, what choice can we have? What choice have we but to try? Lord Hien might have had the right of it. Asahi may very well be a monster, but we must play his game, for now. Yeah. We'll be ready for anything he pulls at us. Meanwhile. Arranging the prisoner exchange proved easier than I thought. Yes, my lord will be most pleased. Everything is going according to Keikaku. No.
Can you truly remember nothing? Nothing at all?
Were we friends?
Yes, we were good friends, you and I. In fact, I've brought you a gift. I pray that one day soon, as you gaze into that mirror, you will remember the woman staring back at you.
It's so pretty. Who are you? Who are you?
Meanwhile, in the imperial capital.
How are you feeling, my lord?
Fine, now leave me.
No fucking way. Bullshit. How in the hell is he alive? More often than not, it seems opportunities want to come knocking when the signs are about. So long as you and yours remain here in Kugane, I'm certain a profitable venture will present itself. Whatever Asahi is planning, we cannot let him have his way. After all Lord Hien has done, the Empire cannot be sorry to hinder Doma's restoration. Right. It's not every day you make friends with secret collective of talking animals, after all. Even if Soraban hadn't decided to remain at the Ryzen Temple, I wouldn't have wanted to stay away. Oh right, that other side story that unfortunately I will not do. That involves like the four great beasts. Like was the Byakko, Suzaku, Genbu, and goddamn, I always forget the fourth one. Something Ryu. Well, anyway, let's continue. Oh, Leo. Impeccable timing. We have just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that the Domans are coordinating the efforts with the Blue Kojin to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions of peace set down by the ambassador. For the Gallians' part, the Populares have sent word that a vessel bearing Doma's conscripts is soon to arrive in Yangsha. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view what you should be on hand at this critical juncture. According to the letter, Yotsuyu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any chance in her mental state, however, in slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Agreed. Let's make straight ways to the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you will cope in our absence, Tataru. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Bye-bye. Back to Doma. Wait a minute, I should do this. Knock your Abonia off the yeah. The Doman Enclave. Okay, I'm here. Ever since he drained our coffers dry buying that sword, Alphino has had his purse strings in a death grip. I came in by a cup of tea without him going on about the dangers of frivolous spending. We know the broad strokes from his letter, but we'll hear the details of our Doman friend's progress from Lord Hien himself. Ah, I see my letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Kosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather the worse for wear, and despite his best effort to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. What? Good God! Is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which is all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time we received some visitors. Might you spare a moment? Yotsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what's become of her as well. We'll visit him at once, Leo. Leo, Alize, shall we?
Open wide now.
Please to you. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon?
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... A gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
Context, Alize. Context.
My lady, I assure you this is not...
with him? We need to wash you. You stink. What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman! I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
I just see him being so grumpy. They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think of him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed. Had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would declare them mad. That aside, I am relieved to see Kosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events! I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up. Although I suppose Kosetsu is an old man, with the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he had resided decrepitude. How do you say that? He has resisted decrepitude with some defiance he showed enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsuyu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Aye? Yugiri? Yugiri? Out of all of us, I would think you the hardest to convince. So what makes you so sure? I've been spying on Yotsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that will betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in the character from the first. One evening, I watched her as she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. A child's game. In the wariest shinobi would not go such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me. And everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu, and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we'll need to present her to the ambassador one last time, to prove that her memory is truly gone. We'll not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she as good as fastened these chains around their necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There's no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Guardians are on their way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We'll meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. The skiff will take us to our meeting with the ambassador. We will join you at the docks once preparations have been made. Okay. Even after weeks of surveillance, it was difficult for me to accept that Yotsuyu's condition was genuine. But not as difficult as accepting Kosetsu's affection for her. Yeah. Kosetsu's been really headstrong with this whole keeping Yotsuyu safe. For some reason or another. Just a sec, I think I should change this. Maybe I should switch back to this, the Liberator. Can you imagine Yotsuyu playing with balls on the floor? I don't know that we can think of her as the same person anymore. Shall we wait here then? We're here and should not be long. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She's nowhere to be found. What? What? But the Guardians will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouring the streets as we speak. But it is possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord? I do not rightly know. I think... Yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers, whom I do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her on the boat. Why, that's a new fallen snow it was. Was she so important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No, I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. It would seem that Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No one can come to this. No good can come of this. This is bad. Her memory must have returned. Why else will she run? Without Tsuyu, I cannot see how the prisoner exchange, or indeed the peace progress at large, can proceed. We have to find her, and soon. It seems Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far. But Kami, help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. The responsibility of her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me, but I will ask of your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Hien. Now as before, let's make the crossing and begin our search. You go ahead. Someone should let Yugiri know what we have learned. I'll join you on the other side. We have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we had best divide our forces. I'll take Kusakari and its surrounds. Alphino, if you would take the road to Castrum Fluminus. Leo, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor? More than Namazu may have well seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff, and I hope the kami smile upon our efforts. Yuzuka Manor. Alright, here. This place is where all the Namazu lie. You know what? Those catfish people. Hello, boys.
Welcome to Yuzuka Manor. Yes, yes. If there's anything you care to know, you need only... A pale-skinned woman? I have seen no such traveler. I am sorry to say. Most sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have abundance.
Yeah. That won't help right now.
Unusually pale skin. Yes, yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She had just crossed the shallows east of here and was headed in a northeasterly direction. For the most part, her steps do not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her.
Thank you.
Whoosh.
You see no sign of Yotsuyu to the north. Perhaps she's somewhere farther off to the northeast. How convenient. Looking for someone who once worked for Imperials. I got the Magitech armor. Well, Maggie, as Wedge would like to say. Still no sign of Yotsuyu. Perhaps she's yet farther to the northeast. Where is she? Yotsuyu is nowhere to be seen, but lying on the ground a short distance to the north, you spy a familiar-looking white-brimmed hat. A cursory glance is all that is required to confirm your suspicion. It is the same hat Yotsuyu was wearing when you found her in Sakazuki. Uh-oh. This is bad. Leo, before you ask, our search of Kusakari and its surroundings had yielded exactly naught. Save this chance reunion with you, I suppose.
Mistress Alizeo has gone to assist her brother at the castrum.
It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Hien here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Yeah. Towards Namai? By the kami, the villagers recognize her. It will not end well. We must hurry. Yuki and I will check the paddles. The village square is yours. Yotsuyu, where is she? Ah, there she is.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuyu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies! My lord, she would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, This woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Well, that was a scene. Fortunately, went with somewhat of a happy ending. I can't forgive what that woman did to us, but I won't do anything to upset Wasami. I'm not scared of her. Not anymore. See, our child has more wisdom than the adults. All of this over a persimmon. I failed to consider how she might endanger herself. Knowing that she has the mind of a child, I should have continued my vigilance, not relaxed it. I do not know why everyone is so angry, but I got the fruit Kosetsu wanted. I hope he likes it. That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was not an escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Kosetsu, which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Ha! And they say fruit is good for the health. I do hope Kosetsu finds the taste of his liking. Well, we have certainly taken the long way around, but let's continue on the Castrum Fluminis and our meeting with the ambassador. Alphino and Alize should still be there, conducting their search. The Imperial airship has arrived. Whether our conscripts were aboard that remains to be seen. I was sure Yutsuya have fled, but it seems her memory hasn't returned after all. How foolish of me to consider Kosetsu's craving for a seasonal fruit. Lord Hien informed us of the uproar in Namai. Thank the 12 you found Yutsuya when you did. I do not think what might happen had you not. Do we have to stay here long? He'll be waiting for his fruit. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. This time to meet with the ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Oh no, I don't like the sound of that.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Yotsuyu's parents.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
I knew better than to trust Asahi. But that was a dirty trick.
Still unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I will send her back to the Enclave Yogiri to give Kosetsu his purchased persimmon. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. I suppose Tsuyu is to become an official Domin citizen. But what then? Will they keep her hidden here forever? Or might she one day be allowed to walk amongst their countrymen? So it would seem there will be one less prisoner at the exchange. I only hope Yotsuyu's presence here will not present further problems. We should pay a visit to Kosetsu, by reassuring about Tsuyu's fate. He'll want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished its claim on her.
Kosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention.
What's that?
I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder...
Yeah, what were those crates?
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
What? Again?
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Of course. Let's find her.
Help! Help!
Wait. These are... Yutsuyu's foster parents.
Help! Help me!
Echo.
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery. You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks, at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugani and start a new business.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu!
What?
No!
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Please. I don't want to die.
Any sign of her?
No.
What happened here?
Yotsuyu. She's back.
I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother?
Yes.
Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Mm-hmm. So Asai got his way in the end, and at an unspeakable price. He really is a vile little worm, isn't he? Yotsuyu did her recovery well. I had no inkling that her memory had returned. I keep asking myself when it could have happened. At the meeting with her parents, perhaps? But then, why would she... Nay, there is not to be gained from such conjecture. So Yotsuyu has returned to the bosom of the Empire after all. I cannot say I am surprised, but what I struggle to fathom is Asahi's aim in all of this. Right, but what does he want with Yotsuyu? We have recovered the Neuri's remains. I will hold the cremation anon, but that they have never again set foot in Doma. I brought the news to Kosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. But what now? Shall we continue with the exchange? So, my friends, that which we feared has come to pass. Yotsuyu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. It is by any measure a cruel twist, not least for Kosetsu, but one which does not validate our aggrievement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yotsuyu into the Guardian's hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of the exchange. But at that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be then, as it must be. This I can accept. But what I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration for Xenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted, and that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I will have an escape rule in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of the Castrum Fluminis is to be a stage for the exchange, then I believe that thorough inspection is in order. The citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure they could not be defended by occupying force, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. I will slip inside and make certain we have obstructed exit. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of the Imperial facilities, and should matters take turn for the worse, I would have hoped to be at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we'll need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibun, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leaving us far less vulnerable on the water, assuming, of course, Russia can be convinced to part with one. My take on lead with this. I had dealings with Russia and his pirates before. And I won't be alone, will I, Leo? You can count on me. Much appreciated. I quite fancy parleying with pirates again. It's just a shame Lees won't be there to reprise our role. I'm sure you will make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to these negotiations all the same. My lord, the rule of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, Yugiri. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat them with them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, master, Astralfino and I shall be about our task. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short, and Russia may take some convincing. It is kind of sad that Yotsuyu cannot have a happy ending. Well, somewhat of a happy ending. That she had to come back to there. Have her memories returned. And to be part of the Empire once again. Hello, boys. In my mind, Yotsuyu is deserving of only one fate. Memory loss be damned. If you don't have the stones for it, we will be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift.
Now there's a face I didn't expect to see. What brings the noble lord of Doma into the company of bilge rats such as we?
If you come to offer Doman chains in place of the Garlean ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip.
What a fine subject you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold.
But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more.
Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle.
And I will not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit loop-sided to me. Where's the profit for us in all of this? Profit? Must you always think of such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you heard of pirates, little miss? You will find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mr. Salize. We did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk, and there is more to be said. According to the records recovered after the liberation, relatives to your Doman-born brethren, we're among those conscripted into the Imperial Army, and as you may be aware, we recently negotiated a return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I will ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You will not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits?
You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hien.
The losses we suffered at the Guardian's hands are no secret. But since we drove them out of the Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they are familiar with the inner workings of the Empire.
Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have our ship. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind has damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though you have mended her, she has yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough down below, but when you load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those upper planks will have be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you'll do me a favor of swimming around the hold to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman lords are not averse to getting the ropes wet.
Not this Doman lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a thrice.
That's the spirit. The ship is moored at the Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on the deck to hear your reports. Look at a lad named Ihanashi.
And I thought I had a knack of parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success. And yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, I thought the rumors exaggerated.
but the young lord lives up to his reputation. Wee-hee-hee. Ow. A fate. Not my concern. Let's see here. You see no signs of damage here. Good. Upon closer inspection, you spot a small crack in one of the planks. Yo. Got some news for you. I'm the shipwright. Apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might be in need of attention? The section I inspected seems solid enough. I found one crack. On the port side, near the bow, you say? Alright, I will look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could flow in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I am happy to report no visible cracking or holes in the section of the hull. You're Lorhian! The captain sent you to inspect the hull? Kami, have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. Huh, this is quite alright. In fact, I rather enjoy it. I take you are from Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising. I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How's our lady? Is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack on the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you have met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He bubbles when he's nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life, if he so chooses. I expect you to see they are provided for. I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oh so easy put aside? If I allow it. I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family's long dead, and I know this life is my lot, but he has scarce disposed his toes with us. If there is a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Emperor's Congress has uprooted many and more, be it in Yangsha or out in the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. But the matter is settled. I will make preparations to cast off. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let's return to the Enclave.
Nice little distraction. Oh. Must go back there. Then... Well, that was successful. Alphino tells me they had a little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I think he was hiding something, though I can't imagine what. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied, and betrayed no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited us there. Alphino seemed only reluctant to linger, but I saw not to concern us. The castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. It was a simple matter to plot the surest path out, hence our swiftness. It seems Yugiri and Alphino completed their task before us. They have been waiting. We scoured the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged our ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange, and pray to the kami these precautions were unnecessary. While we were putting out contingency plans in place, I left Haruko in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He will see they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they await us at the riverbank, not far from the castrum. Over there. So let us go teleport here. And then fly to the rest of the way. Hey, the mana cutter. One of my favorite mounts in this game. This and the Falcon. And everyone's here. Would that we have some hint as to the ambassador's intentions. Have we not prepared for the worst? I should be wary of going through with this at all. No matter what Asahi throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way. The tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? I concede. We might perhaps have chosen a less ominous place to conduct the exchange. My only concern is the safe return of our people. That is what my lord wishes, and that is what shall be done.
Do not worry about the ship. It will be there when it needs to be, with Tanzui at the helm.
Your party is assembled then?
Aye, ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That, and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble.
Yes, my lord.
We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape, and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrum's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let's be about it.
Let the exchange begin.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
There she is.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish!
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting Viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
Crystals? Don't tell me. Yep.
What has she done?
Primal summoning.
Oh gods! This is a summoning!
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
So this was his plan.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
Let's call it a strategic withdrawal.
Spare my pride, would you? I know this foe is beyond me. The field is yours.
Right.
We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty?
Well, you're soon gonna find out.
I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorman. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Well then. Time for this primal to go down. A Kojin relic,
a hidden trove of crystals. Through these tools of ritual summoning, the restored Yotsuyu is reborn at Tsukuyomi, divinity of night and lady of the moon. This being of celestial majesty will rule from on high, and drown the lands of Doma in eternal darkness. Will your light shield Hien and his people, or will it flicker and fail before the encroaching abyss? So it has come to this, Yotsuyu. You restoring your memories, returning back to the Empire, and now transforming yourself into this, a primal, into a monster. Well, I will wait. And when the time comes, you will go down. I'll be silent for this fight, because I want you guys to enjoy the music.
Oh, it's going to be a long night. Whoa! Your end is near. The mess. Your death will be all the sweeter. In darkness blooms the spider lily. From mortal height, I rise anew. Diffused with night, I shall prevail. Excellent. In moonlight's chill, shine petals pale. Whoa! Excellent. Whoa! Diffused with night, I shall prevail! Your end is near. Sunless gloom, black tendrils trail. No. Not yet. Not yet. I'll grind you under my heel. Grind you under my heel!
It's done. Oh, well left. Well, thank you guys. Can I? No, of course not. did it. Asahi.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down. My! Such hostility! These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger, then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
But I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point. It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you. What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
You know, Gosetsu will mourn you.
He will mourn too, perhaps. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Rest in peace, Yotsuyu. And you finally found peace.
Xenos!
You still draw breath.
Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord. will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
She is gone.
I'm sorry, Gosetsu.
Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Well, I saw a vision of Asahi's past. And I saw Xenos.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
Yes.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo.
Yeah, I saw him do it, but somehow he's still alive.
I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
Yeah, we buried the bastard.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court. The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Well, at least there's a silver lining in this.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Wait, what?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
Yeah, you will go straight to the to the hornet's nest.
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
I believe in you, Alphino. I know you can do this.
'Tis not for me to stop you. But I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Well, there he goes. Kosetsu dragged himself here from his sickbed, only to be greeted by the sight of Yotsuyu's corpse. I had not the words to confront him. Ah, Alphino, you impulsive fool. I thought about trying to talk him out of it, but I know what I would say if the roles were reversed. Stubbornness is something of a family trait. Seems to be. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning? Thank the kami you were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. 'Tis little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way as he came along. The same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest, but the vessel yet waiting on the riverbank were those who did not flee in time. I suggest we put this doleful place behind us, and make for the Enclave together. 'Twould be a shame to miss the joyous reunion.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
There you are.
Hmm? Kosetsu. What happened to your hair?
Gosetsu, your hair.
My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
Safe travels, Kosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh, and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Oh, there he goes. Hopefully, we'll see him again. Hey, guess you found your father. By the Kami, you spotted that cracked plank. That ship ended up bringing my father home. And the captain said, well, let's just say I'm not a pirate anymore. I'm going to live in Doma with my father. We're free! It'll be far too quiet without Kosetsu around. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. Oh, speaking of reunions, you spoke with Ihanashi. It turns out his father was among the returning conscripts. Yes, I just did. Kosetsu relinquished his duties, with a grace befitting a samurai lord. I only hope that I can fill the void which he had left behind. Just don't overexert yourself. Ah, Kosetsu. Fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet occasion, but there is yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in the Ikienkon. I will thank you properly. Properly. Yes, show me in. It'll be weird without Alphino around. With all of that out of the way, Doma should be able to look forward to a period of relative calm. As of us, well, we have an intriguing story to tell everyone back at the Rising Stones. Lord Hien trained under Kosetsu from the day he was old enough to hold a sword. Though he smiled through all the farewells, none will feel his absence more keenly. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that will never have drawn without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of the Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you, I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there is little to be done but to wait for Alphinaud to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Kosetsu, by building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess, I miss him already. But the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and in Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Kosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never fully replace his daughter, I hope that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the kami have been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning of Yotsuyu's fate, to deliver her from certain death, with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother. Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us. And that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. I didn't know that Kosetsu had a wife and a daughter. Doma owes you a great debt, my friend. Thanks to you, we have everything we need to prosper. You and Alize must promise to visit us again soon, and Alphinaud too, when he returns from the Empire. Know that my thoughts go with him. However far his pilgrimage may take him, we have not seen the last of Kosetsu. Of that I am certain. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Ruggles Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lise about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Yeah. She must be the first to know. Well, besides Hien and the others. But yeah. How did Xenos survive that? I mean, he slit his own throat. That should be enough to keep him dead. Not to just take him to a doctor and fix it all up. Something fishy is going on around here. Hey, Lise. Leo, Alize, you're back. No Alphino? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Gosh, they had better be a joke. Look, I know what I saw, alright? We all saw it. And here you're saying he's alive, and well, and living the high life back in Garlemald. I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. But while I might doubt the word of an Imperial Envoy, I'm inclined to trust Leo's. He saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that could only have taken place in a recent past. It was him. It was Xenos. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of discrediting that bastard's grave, remember? Those gilded holes? What are you talking about? Oh, Thancred. Thancred, what brings you to the Reach? Alphino had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on, just until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my weary way back to the headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion that the Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? Ugh. As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But if it will put this rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried at the Blood Hoof in the locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked, so as not to upset the locals. Then it shouldn't be too hard to find. Now go. You're in charge until I get back. Okay then, let's go open up Xenos' grave. This is it. Most of the crates are grouped together, but they managed to find a lonely spot for Xenos, didn't they? My money is on writhing snakes. Possibly spiders. Let's prise it open and see what comes out. This is it. God, he better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. So no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied? Well then, we are presented with one of course of action. And we had best be sure we are not observed in doing of it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Oh no. Empty, empty, empty.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body to bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphino's theory of Asian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Asian is walking around in Xenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the peoples responsible of interring the crown's prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Robot needs to hear about this. If you found anything out, send word to me at Ruggles Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall I make before the rising stones then? Just past time we share these developments with the others. Right. And back here. Before I speak with her, I shall speak with these guys. You need word from my grandfather. If he should grow lonely and start to long for homemade's company, he will purchase passage to the next ship bound for the Far East. I couldn't stop him if I tried. I see. We gathered what scraps of intelligence we could. Myself from within Eorzea, and Alphino from his far eastern sources. But there is a limit to what a bloke we can learn about the Empire from outside its borders. Still, I'd never think to invite myself aboard an Imperial bloody airship. It was impulsive, reckless. Yet we got to admire the lad's style.
The Domas as much come to Revenant Stola as you and me. They're family. Thank the gods I make it back in time to see them off.
Will Isildur be alright with Ahome? They're practically inseparable these days, and I don't think he has many more other friends.
It is for the best, it is. It is their past and their future, their home, and I could not be happier for them.
Aw, you miss him. I hope Isildur can find someone to keep him company. With our missions, we can never linger very long. I know I need to give Isildur my undivided attention, but these waves of brotherly love make my mind drift to naughty places. Focus, Anori, focus!
Twould seem Master Alphino has placed himself squarely in the path of danger. As a fellow scion, I shall render whatever aid I can to ensure his safe return. Good to hear. Though he's but half-size of my courageous brother, twould seem Alphino's bravery looms twice as large. Even Hori might hesitate before embarking alone into the heart of the Empire.
Yes, one would say that Alphino gained some stones. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Urianger over Lingpearl and gave him a full report. Y'shtola is on her way, and should be here any... Ah. Alize, Leo, 'tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that Ascian now inhabits Zeno's body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Leo? Nay, Alphino had the right of it. Would that his wisdom extend to the question of his own safety? Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but... I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, the right beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. My methods seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I ask you a question, soldier. What are you... Have you lost your mind? I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final blow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. Yep, that's Xenos.
Alphinaud will have need of all his wits if he's to survive the visit to Garlemald. We know precious little about life in the Imperial capital. It's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But I suppose all we can do now is wait for word from Alphinaud. I don't recall the last time I had nothing pressing to be getting on with. We should probably make the most of it. Shall I put on some tea? Tea would be lovely. You may regale me with a tale of your adventures in the Far East, and of your encounter with this new primal especially. I'll put the kettle on then. That table looks free if you'd like to take a seat. Don't mind if I do. Yes, I'm ready for multiple cutscenes. Interesting. So this Tsukuyomi was summoned in much the same manner as Susano, via the medium of a sacred relic. That's right. They believe their gods, or kami, reside in physical objects. Given the danger they represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalogue of such relics. If we are to contain the threat, we will require a better understanding of the summoning method itself. I believe I shall pay a visit to Doma and learn what I can on the subject. A fine idea, and I know for a fact that your friends in Doma would be grateful for any information which could help to prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Hien will wish to welcome your resident expert on etherology. Greetings. Could it be that I'm in time for tea? It sure looks that way. Come on, sit down and tell us how your investigations went. After you left, I went about questioning Bloodhove's gravekeepers. They all told me much the same story. Once Lisa and her officers had confirmed Zeno's death, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. There seems little reason to doubt their testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the devastation of Zenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. None reported having seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed the act to have been perpetrated by a vengeful Alamegan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scrolls was removed, as per Lisa's instruction, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. By that stage, 'tis like that the corpse was already missing. Assuming Zenos has not, in fact, risen from the dead, We are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of their extremely committed impostor, or an Asian has taken up residence within it. If Asai was a fervent devotee as you believe, he would not be fooled by impersonation, however committed. We must assume that we are dealing with an Asian, and proceed accordingly. Agreed. The question is, how many more such monsters are waiting for Alphino in Garlemald? Their presence was his chief reason for going. He understood the risks. I only hope he did not underestimate the extent of the infestation.
Meanwhile, on the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft, XIV.
Master Alphino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is aught amiss?
Nay, 'tis just... I can see naught from my cabin. I was curious to know the land over which we flew.
Ah, well, I'm afraid our military craft are built with little thought of such niceties. I happen to indulge your curiosity, however. We are presently passing over the burn on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze will only have been greeted with naught but mounds upon mounds of lifeless earth.
I have read something of the burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, bled dry of every last drop of ether.
Aye, it is believed that this succession of icon summoning was responsible. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld his blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declared icons a threat to our very star existence, and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of all such entities.
Report!
We are under attack, sir. Magitek armor. No visible designation.
Magitek? But who?
All cannons return fire. Damage report. The main reactor's been hit. Helms unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Damn it! They knew exactly where to hit us. All hands, brace for impact. Glad you have your gun back, Master Alphino. We have landed in one piece, more or less. But the air filtration system is damaged, and the ship is filling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out here while we still can. Aye.
Oh?
Ah, I'm playing as Alphino. Keep as still as you can. Master Alphino, may I ask you to search for survivors?
You okay? Hold on. My thanks. I don't think I could have made it. Yes, you very likely saved his life. Oh. The prince? Now come for parley, I fear. Ready your weapons. Now, I will now feel for the first time what it is like to be a white mage. Heal myself. And now you. Go down. Huh? Whoa. Confound it! Not here! Not like this! Huh? What? Who in the Emperor's name? Enemies who are enemies. Introductions can wait. You're calm in a crisis, Master Alphino. Let's finish this then. That move. So familiar. The Emperor.
trials.
PK Star Storm. Come on.
My thanks, boy.
My thanks. Your intervention proved most timely.
Well, well. I did not think to meet an Orsian in this place, let alone a Scion.
You know of me, sir?
I have some small history with your order. But I would speak of the present. Know of your assailants, and the severity of your predicament.
The soldiers bore the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard. And I would venture a guess as to their motive. But you yet have us a disadvantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are?
Our names are not yours for the asking. And as for our purpose, let this be your answer.
Huh? An Asian mask!
We face of our prey. The face of our prey.
Huh?
We must await before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now.
Even should we manage to long trek out to the burn and secure passage to the capital, we would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's guard. Indeed, we accept your gracious gift offer,
Shadow Hunter will suffice for the present. Come.
That faceplate looks familiar. This is intolerable. But as much as I wished it were, but as much as I wish it were otherwise, there's nothing we can do for Alphino, now but pray for his success.
Well, that is not entirely true.
While your brother journeys to Golemalt from the east, I could make my way there from Alamigo, and find out what there is to be learned in the Empire's western provinces. Then I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here sipping tea if there's action to be taken. Forgive me, Alize, but the provinces are hostile territory, and stealth is all important. It is safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when this situation demands it. Don't patronize me. We should leave this to Thangrid. Not you two. I understand your frustration, Alize, but Leo has the right of it. We must defer to Thangrid's expertise in this matter. Fine. Just promise you'll be careful. Alice and her brother bicker, all as siblings do, but she worries for him, nonetheless. It would be a kindness if you were to visit from time to time, and distract her from her cares. Well, I had best put on my skulking boots. There'll be no room for mistakes once I cross the border from Alamigo. It seems that prey needs to be an extent of my contribution after all. But I will stay behind, as I've been bid. We all have our talents. Mine just happen to involve a silver tongue and soft soles. I promise to send word the moment I learn out of consequence. See that you notify me too. I mean to depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable east alternate vessel to bear me thither, but I shall return if I am needed. Be sure to drop in whenever you're next in the area, Leo. With any luck, I'll have plentiful detailed report from Alphino to share. And that's the end of part 3. Oh. Well then. I think... What's the time now? Maybe, just maybe I'll start the next part today. Maybe. But, until then, see you all next time on part 3 of replaying the story of Final Fantasy XIV Post-Stormblood. We're getting close, guys. We're really getting close to finishing this. For me to finish this project before Endwalker comes up. See you guys then.